I don't even know how to start this one off. Obviously, I titled this for a little bit more YouTube friendly guidelines. I might change the title for Rumble and Odyssey and BitChute and stuff, but if you didn't know, you should know now that fans of the playground is the YouTube friendly way to call them. These people want your kids. And this isn't like an exaggeration or, you know, me being hyperbolic. These people want your kids and they want them in an appropriate adult way. This is from Daily Mail. My son didn't even know what oral was. Parents slam Connecticut school district for asking eighth graders. If you don't know, an eighth grader, that's like 12, 13-year-olds, to share their sexual desires in the form of pizza toppings and bizarre assignment. School district in Enfield, Connecticut asked eighth graders to share their sexual desires in the form of pizza toppings for a school assignment. Now, I must say this. If you're an adult and you're just like, yeah, this is going to be fun. I want to know what these 12 and 13-year-olds think about sex. You're sick, you're demented, and you need serious mental health help that I cannot provide for you. You need a professional. The instruction pamphlet was distributed to students in the recent health class at John F. Kennedy Middle School. What's your favorite style of pizza? Your favorite toppings? What are your pizza no-nos? Now mirror these preferences in relation to sex, the pamphlet read. Why? How would a child have preferences? They're not even teenagers yet half the time. I guess eighth grade, you're 13. That's a teenager, okay. But what? Why are they having sex? No, they shouldn't have preferences. The instructions offered some suggestions. Here are some examples: likes, cheese equals kissing; dislikes, olives equals giving oral. Excuse me. One parent whose 13-year-old son was in the health class told DailyMail.com she was mortified when she asked her boy how his day went. Her son told Daily Mail that he didn't even know what the meaning of the word oral was or oral before the class. I find these all very disturbing, one parent said. This is stuff that would normally be discussed in a safe place in the home. And I wouldn't even say it like that. It's like they're coddling them as if they're in elementary school. Like, oh, this is a fun game for little tiny kids. They're middle schoolers. Okay. When I was in middle school and we had sex education class, it was very clear cut. And yes, it was very uncomfortable. The teacher was uncomfortable. Kids are making jokes and stuff, but it was very like, here's the term for this, here's the term for that. And they would go over certain processes and how things went, things that I mostly already knew, but a little bit more technical terms, I guess. But this is just creepy. This is grooming. This is grooming behavior. Now that you know this metaphor for sex, let's explore your preferences. Draw and color your favorite type of pizza. What's your favorite style of pizza? Your favorite toppings? What are your pizza no-nos? Now mirror these preferences in relation to sex. If that wasn't explicit enough, then structured offered suggestions. Okay. And here we go. Pizza and consent. I just can't. Now, hold on. I have to talk about this. So remember the whole Pizzagate controversy where there was this conspiracy theory where, I don't know what you would call them. They were mostly conservative in the right wing category, but they were very much out, in the realm of going a little bonkers. And they were people were freaking out about this stuff. Okay. And, I just can't possibly get into the specifics, but that was a thing. Okay. This is not helping. This is not helping at all when we're talking about the pizza and all that jazz. Okay. This is not helping at all. I'm not going to read all of this, but consent is enthusiastic, fluid, respectful, required. Okay. I I'm not necessarily mad at that. The consent part, I guess that kind of needs to be talked about, but the sexually explicit things just gets really weird. Like, these are kids. Kids shouldn't even be having sex. So, you do whatever with yourself in private, and that's none of my business. Uh, but when kids start interacting together, it starts getting incredibly creepy, and we need to prevent that as much as possible. What's pizza got to do with it? We could use pizza as a metaphor for sex. When you order a pizza with your friends, everyone checks in about each other's preferences, right? Some people might be vegan, some might be gluten free, others might love pineapple, while others prefer pepperoni. Like, this is getting really disturbing. It If you're a vegetarian, but your friend is a meat lover, this is getting very disturbing. Sharing a pizza is going to bring up a lot of issues. You don't know who you can share pizza with unless you ask. Okay, now they're getting into partners and use certain language and communicate. Okay. Personal pizza. Um, Draw and color your favorite type of pizza. Again, this is for like 13-year-olds, but they're doing this in a way that it would be like in an elementary school type of thing. Like, if I was in middle school, I consider myself fairly intelligent. I got decent grades, like B's, and I got A's in science and stuff, but B's and C's for the rest because I was just bored. And somebody gave me this. I'd be like, what is this crap? Like, we're not babies. We're not in elementary school anymore. So, yeah, and it's basically trying to ask the kids to put down their sexual likes and dislikes. This just seems like a groomer trying to pick which student that fits their sexual desires because they are fans of the playground, and they want to abuse or traffic these kids. That's exactly what this seems like to me. So, I mean, we can read more of this, but I mean, we've gone through the brunt of it. Like, this is not okay, and this is what we have to deal with in this country right now. Is we have these far left activists who are infiltrating every echelon of this society, and it's bringing us into this weird space where it's veiled in, lovey-dovey, we're here to help, and this is all progressive, and we're progressing society, and this is how we evolve and change for the better. And it's like, it's laced with a little bit of interesting, if not okay, material, or ideas that I have no problem discussing and thinking about, and we can weigh the pros and cons and maybe implement some of them. But then, you're like, oh, this is nice and cool and safe. And then when you just kind of let it go and you weren't digging deeper into what a lot of this stuff is, not all of it, but a lot of this stuff, and you start seeing stuff like this where they're basically grooming kids in the school, right in front of the parents' eyes, or right under their noses, I should say. They're not. It's hard to be a parent. I am not one. I am making a conscious decision not to become a parent because I don't think I would be able to handle the reality of society right now. I don't think I'd be able to handle this. For one, my money is for me. Yeah, I admit I'm a little selfish, I don't have enough money comfortably to where I feel like, yes, I can raise a child. And I'm not going to sit here and, get all these tax benefits and stuff just so I can raise a child. I think that's ridiculous. If you don't have the money, don't have kids. But yeah, I would lose my mind if my child came home from school and be like, "Hey, this is what they taught us." Like I would go to prison, not jail, prison, because I would probably use extreme violence against the teacher who tried to groom and provided sexually explicit material to my child. I couldn't handle it, so I avoid as many of these situations because I know how I am, and I avoid these situations so I don't have to put myself in that situation, or so I don't have to deal with the consequences of what is mostly going to be inevitable. Um, your children should be your first and only priority. um, Keeping them safe, making sure they have the absolute best life possible, not the easiest life possible, but the best life possible. And yeah, you've got to pull your kids out of public school. It's just obvious at this point. Pull your kids out of public school. Get your local, state, and federal politicians involved with defunding the Department of Education, or giving parents school choice to where their tax money goes to wherever their student goes to, or their child goes to school. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching, if indeed you still are, and I will see you all next time.